Good morning. Let's talk about herd immunity for a moment. Hassan Abi did a video talking about the futility of it and how it's just stupidity. I look at it again as one of my viewers put on here that we're in a country where the government doesn't care anything about us. They don't. American lives don't mean anything. Don't mean anything. And Hassan was talking about, how Trump was talking about, I think, Sweden, how Sweden had let the COVID just run wild. No masks, no nothing. Herd immunity. And Hassan was like, why do they keep talking about Sweden? Why don't we talk about how Vietnam handled it? Why don't we talk about how other countries handled it? And, Germany and all that too. I thought it was interesting that Vietnam did pretty good with this, and Africa did too, which is shocking because a lot of people thought back in early March, early April, I thought this, that because these countries they have less options, they have less education or public health. These countries have less wealth, less ability to do things, make massive moves as far as quarantine and stuff. We thought that these countries would break out. It would get really bad. It didn't, which is pretty weird. That didn't happen. That didn't. They tamped it down. To me, speaks to two things. A, the fact that America is very divided, and it's become a political issue to make fun of people who wear masks and such. That's the first thing. B, I feel like all this is God. I just say it. To me, this is God, and we're watching the big boys get their asses kicked. I'm a big supporter of BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and I hope that one day they're big enough to compete with IMF and the International Monetary Fund. I hope that happens. Look, it's kind of like a fat man. America's like a fat man sitting on the couch. He sees the rest of the world. He sees the rest of his community. People out there jogging and running and working out and getting six-pack abs and, bench pressing 300, 400 pounds and, running in marathons and shit. And he sees they get girls, and he sees people like yeah, this is the par. I should be doing this. This is my group, my age group. And deep down, he wants what they have, but he's not willing to put the effort into doing it, working out, getting in shape. Because what does that require? It requires fucking working out till you're laying on the ground breathing for air. That requires, learning about exercise and talking to people and learning about supplements and how the body works. He don't want to do that. But he wants what other folks have. That, to me, is why America refers to Sweden. We want what they've gotten. Like, I was looking at Fox News, one of the clips, they were talking about how we need to reopen schools like the people in Europe are doing, Belgium and all that. Okay, a couple of things here. And this goes back to the ignorance of the conservative and how I believe a lot of it is willful ignorance. It's all about teasing, and it's all about being willfully ignorant. It's all about whataboutism. There's no policy behind this. It's just, well, they're gay. It's like that. Those countries from the very beginning, people giving people 80% of their paychecks throughout the pandemic. Yeah. These countries took the pandemic seriously from the beginning. You can't, and now they've gotten the case count down and the testing, they're reopening schools. They've been reopening schools. America never did any of that. So if we didn't do that stuff, how can we compete with those? You know what I mean? Like right now, I work out and I got my stomach is flat and all that. And I do squats and stuff. I do deadlifts and stuff. I cannot get in a weightlifting competition. I'm not in that kind of shape. I'm just not. Because I'm not on the level as other people who have been doing things to get themselves there. That's what America is when you compare America to other countries in Europe that have been testing a million people a week and stuff like that. I mean, come on. Like I said, this all goes back to the fact that America wants to be seen as competing when we're not even on the stage. We're not even fit to compete. But for dumbass rednecks who want to believe it, America's great, they'll be like, yeah, we should. This is just like when I talk to you guys about Trump's press secretary. So we need to reopen churches. And if you reopen liquor stores, you can reopen churches. And I had a coworker fall for this shit. There's a lot of stores in Alabama and Mississippi, out in the country, that sell food. And they sell liquor. They happen to sell liquor too. They have liquor license. They're a liquor store. You can't close those stores because then people couldn't get food. There's no Walmarts out there, guys. So when you say, well, they can reopen liquor stores, they reopen churches, that's being ignorant because they sell a lot more than just liquor. You see? This is what I'm talking about. This is conservatives. I'm gonna call it from now on acting in bad faith. They're acting in bad faith because you know that this is not that, but you're saying it just to rile up the culture war. Because when someone asks you what's the big deal about church, you say, oh, well, you're against God. You hate God. What? You know what I mean? This is like this is how you deal with children. When children ask you stupid questions, that's how you deal with them. You don't answer questions because you want them to get the message. But when reporters are asking you a question to make a story, they're not children. These are adults. These are professionals. I just recognize this is all about America losing prestige, America falling back. I think I talked about this in an earlier video that no one's going to ever respect American public health ever again, including myself. Not because Dr. Fauci's done anything wrong, not because we hate Dr. Fauci, but because of the fact that the American government has done such a piss poor effort in this pandemic. It's a joke. No one should follow America, period. This is the fall of the empire. This is America. This is a thing, I think it's called the theory of diminished returns, that after a while you start getting diminished returns back. That's what America is with climate change and everything, and we just don't want to deal with it. So things are going to get a lot worse because we're trying to double down on the way things worked 20, 30 years ago. We don't want to move with the times. So that means we're gonna deny climate change, mock the vote, mock people who want to wear masks when they go to vote in preparation for that. This is what that is. This is just the fall of America in every way. No one should follow this country, public health or otherwise. But I think we're going into a very uncertain time. I believe there'll be more pandemics. Antibiotic resistance is a real thing, bugs. I just think that America's kind of like taking their position. Like we're gonna stand on this, that we don't believe in science, we don't believe in climate change, we don't believe in viruses and pandemics. This is just what America is now. So, peace.